This is a story about how getting too comfortable and too complacent can lead to a relapse. It was mid 2020 and I decided to take my life back from gambling. I started up a business, it was going really well, and I decided to focus on that. And it was a legitimate business, it wasn't gambling. Life was good, and at the start of 2021, I moved out to Dubai because it was COVID, it was lockdown. It just made sense. It just made sense to escape the shitty weather in the UK and to get out to Dubai and live my life there for a while. And life started out really well there. I was making good money, but then I became too comfortable. And I thought, I can give my system a go again. I bet I can control myself this time. But that was the biggest lie that almost sent me to jail again. I started betting and surprise, surprise, my system worked. I was making loads and loads of money. I was living the Dubai high life. I was driving a nice car. I was living on the 24th floor of this unbelievable apartment block with views over Dubai Marina. It was incredible. And then one day I fell foul to the infamous Dubai police. I was caught running a red light and I was fined about £1,000. And that sent me into a spiral. Bear in mind, all this time it's completely illegal to be gambling in Dubai. I was using a VPN, I was hiding in my bedroom, I didn't have any kind of a social life while I was betting because I was doing it all day, every day. And when I got that fine, I completely lost control. I would stay up all night, every night, and all day, every day, placing bets on Brazilian 4th Division football and Czech ping pong matches, things that I knew absolutely nothing about. And I was just desperate. I was desperate and I kept losing and losing and losing. And eventually I had £0 to my name. So I took out a credit card with the Emirates Bank and I started gambling all of that money. And I ended up losing all of that money. So I was suddenly in huge debt to the Emirates Bank. And I panicked. I was all alone. I felt like I couldn't tell anyone there. I couldn't tell my family. I was so ashamed. But I was at a point where I either threw myself off the 24th floor balcony that I was living on, or I call my mum and I tell her what's happened. So I told my mum, but I didn't tell her the whole truth. I didn't tell her about the credit cards. So she paid for my flights back to the UK and she paid for me to get out of my tenancy agreement. And that was that, as far as she was concerned. And I got back, and after a few months, the Emirates Bank started chasing the money that I owed them. And at this point, huge interest was being gained on it because I was never paying any of it off, and they wanted their money back. And I thought if I ignore them, I'll just never go back to Dubai and it'll be fine. And then I get a call from a debt collector threatening that if I don't pay it back and arrange a payment plan, that they will get Interpol involved. And naturally I start panicking. I'm like, well, this is it. I'm going to jail because I can't afford to pay it back. I ended up grinding it out and making enough money so that I could pay them back in very small installments. But the point of this story is to remind you that the work never stops with recovery. You can't let it slip, you can't forget about it, and you can't get too comfortable.